is your captain speaking. Welcome to Spirit Airlines. Thank you for flying with us. The temperature in Atlanta is 78 degrees. There is a new virus spreading around the country. It is very contagious and it will kill you and your family. Thank you.
Oh my God. I wonder how this is going to impact the stock market. Have you ever wanted to go to Hawaii, Japan, or just go on vacation in general? Well, now you can't. That is, unless you take Spirit Airlines and are willing to risk your life. Because let's face it, Spirit Airlines literally sucks. It's a dump. I almost died taking it, as you just saw just now. Well, you can thank COVID for all of this. But what is even crazier is how COVID-19 has impacted not just the world economy, but the tourism sector as a whole. You see, the tourism sector is huge. It makes up 10% of the world's GDP. 10%. That is a $9 trillion sector. If you've ever taken any regular math class, you should know that $9 trillion is a lot of zeros. And the reason for this is because airlines make so much money. So much. The sector consists of not just airlines, actually. It's also airlines and cruise lines. That's the entire tourism sector. Both these sectors net billions of dollars in profit, and they employ millions of people worldwide and are vital to countries' economic sectors and their system. But it is no question, though, that they have been the hardest hit. And we can take a look at these examples right here. All right, we're here. This is the American Airlines chart. As you can see, this is the daily chart. So each bar represents one day. And we're going all the way back to around February or March of 2020. This was when American Airlines was trading at $32. And as you can see, this thing has been an insane roller coaster. We have fallen all the way down to nearly $9 in the March lows. And then we kind of had a really big spike all the way up to about $25, $23. And now we've gone back down. But what's really cool is if you speed it up all the way a bit more, right here, you see where that green line overtakes the red line? Yeah, that's the 50-day moving average going over the 200-day moving average. That's called a golden cross. For those of you who have never watched Wolf of Wall Street or anything of that matter, that's very bullish, which means this thing is going to the moon. Obviously, it may take some time and you never know what could happen economically speaking, but with stimulus coming as well, this thing is bound to go up higher. And not only that, but we've also formed a little bit of a bottom here at this $15, $16 level. So right now the level to beat is around 17.5 to 18. Now that we've analyzed American Airlines, our first airline stock, let's go to another one that is loved by many investors. All right, now here is the next exhibit. This is Delta Airlines, the second airline stock that we're going to be analyzing today. As you've noticed, it moves a lot with American Airlines, but here's the big difference. This stock is loved by millions of investors. And there's this one really big investor, not that guy, yep, that guy, Warren Buffett. You know him, also known as the Oracle. He's pretty old, has a net worth of almost $90 billion. Pretty wealthy guy. This was his favorite airlines to own. But unfortunately, due to COVID in the March lows, he was forced to sell his shares. Now, as of recent, Delta Airlines has also had a golden cross, as American Airlines has. You know, they're in the same sector, so they're going to move a lot alike. But what's really cool about Delta Airlines is that they have reported earnings, and they reported earnings very, very well, given the fact that their revenue has been cut almost in half due to COVID. So this is very, very optimistic. You can see the RSI here is still at a very good level. So this thing is probably going to go up. It's also bottoming out at around the $40 level, which should be support. If this level doesn't find support, we may go down to around $35, $36. But what's even crazy is that Delta Airlines is also a roller coaster. We went from $65 all the way down to $20. That's just insane. But now, with Delta Airlines finding support, earnings looking good, golden cross forming, and Warren Buffett probably getting back into this, don't quote me on that. I'm just saying, the stock is loved by a lot of big investors. Okay, that is not an investor. That guy's on Main Street. Can we? Okay, thank you. No, enough with the big. What I'm saying is that this stock is going to move, and the tourism sector is looking better. But now we have to see how is Carnival Cruise Line and the cruise lines in general going to react as well. All right, now moving on to our last exhibit, and a completely different sector, but still under the tourism industry, is the cruise lines. Now, as you can see here, CCL, also known as Carnival Cruise Line, is a very popular stock to trade. You can see at the start of basically 2020, this stock went to almost $55. But because of COVID, this stock has plummeted even worse than the airlines, as most cruise lines have, because they can't do anything at all. You remember in early March, or I think close to April, there was that whole quarantine thing where people were literally stuck on the cruise lines fighting for their lives. It was like a zombie apocalypse. That's how bad the investors left this stock. And you can see it went from $55 all the way down to nearly $10. That's absolutely insane. Huge roller coaster. It had a little bit of a pump, kind of like how the airlines did. They're in the same tourism industry, so it's obviously going to move alike. But what's really cool now, fasting forward, this has a golden cross as well. That is 3 for 3 golden crosses. Can we get a round of applause, please? Thank you, thank you. But as you can see, this stock has kind of flattened out here around the $23, $22 level. So if it can break this level around $25, we could see $30 on Carnival Cruise Line, which would be great. The RSI is in a very healthy mid-level. The MACD is moving upward. So it's just a matter of time before this thing comes back. But what's even better than the technicals is what the fundamentals are showing. And now with President Biden as our new president and Kamala Harris as our new vice president, more stimulus is looking to come. The last stimulus that we had eclipsed $1.2 billion, or excuse me, 1.2 trillion, not billion, that would be really, really small. The airlines actually got $25 billion in federal aid because of that. Now with this new stimulus, it's looking to be almost $2 trillion, not billion, not million, trillion with a T. That's what the Biden administration is trying to do. Most of this money is going to go to Main Street, but a lot of it too, let's stop kidding ourselves, is going to go to Wall Street and the big stock companies. The airlines and the cruise lines are going to get a good amount of that money. I'm going to say around $35 to $40 billion, if not more. So this is what investors are pricing in. That's why investors are running to these stocks, Carnival Cruise Line, American Airlines, and Delta Airlines, and so many more. But we still have to wait and see how these companies are going to use this new cash to their disposal. Because if they do not do a good enough job with this money, the rug will be pulled beneath them, and we could see a very massive fall. But with all things being considered, the federal stimulus, this new administration, the golden crosses, the zombie apocalypse, that has nothing to do with this, I'm just really bored. But with all of that being said, the tourism sector in 2021 is for sure a buy. It's just a matter of time as to how well they're going to do.